Everything changed the moment Henry and Julia touched those stones. Because now fans are asking one terrifying question. What if only one of them made it through? Blood of My Blood Season 2 could finally connect directly to Outlander in the most emotional way possible. And if these theories are true, Claire may be about to meet the father she barely remembers. But that's not even the biggest shock. War is coming. A child mystery is growing. And one hidden detail from the finale may have already revealed who survives. The countdown for Blood of My Blood Season 2 has officially begun, and honestly, this next chapter feels bigger than anything the show has done before. Season 1 ended with chaos, heartbreak, and one massive cliffhanger that completely changed the future of the story. Henry and Julia standing at the stones, Archbug and his men closing in behind them, and then nothing. The screen cut to black before we even learned if the time travel worked. That single moment opened the door to endless possibilities, and now Season 2 could become the direct bridge that finally connects Blood of My Blood to Outlander, in a way fans never expected. The biggest mystery heading into Season 2 is obviously Henry and Julia's fate, but the terrifying part is that the show may not keep them together for long. Blood of My Blood has constantly used separation and emotional pain to drive its story, and that pattern could continue in a devastating way. One possibility is that Henry successfully traveled through the stones, while Julia was stopped before she could fully cross over. And honestly, that would create the perfect emotional setup for Season 2. Imagine Julia getting captured by Archbug alongside William, while Henry suddenly wakes up in a completely unfamiliar timeline, with no idea where he actually is. And this is where things become incredibly interesting for Outlander fans. Henry's watch gemstones fell out during his first experience with time travel, which means he likely lost control over where the stones would send him. He may not have returned to his own time at all. Instead, he could have been thrown directly into Claire's timeline from Outlander. That may be the biggest clue hiding inside the finale, because if Henry appears in Claire's timeline, Blood of My Blood instantly becomes more than just a prequel. It becomes part of the main Outlander story itself. Just imagine the emotional impact of that reunion. Claire standing face to face with her own father, after spending most of her life barely knowing him. That scene alone could become one of the most heartbreaking moments in the entire franchise. But what makes it even more painful is the fact that the reunion probably would not last long. Henry's entire mission would immediately become finding Julia again and returning to save her before it is too late. But then another possibility changes everything. What if Henry does not make the journey alone? There's a growing theory that Roger could become the key connection between the two shows. Since Roger understands time travel better than almost anyone, he may help Henry navigate the stones and even travel back with him. That would create an emotional crossover fans have wanted for years. It would also allow Blood of My Blood to naturally tie into the larger mythology of Outlander, without forcing the connection. Still, there is another darker possibility the show may be building toward. What if neither Henry nor Julia successfully escaped? The season finale ended before either character fully crossed the stones, which means Archbug could have stopped both of them. If that happens, Season 2 suddenly becomes much darker. Julia and William could be dragged to Simon Fraser, while Henry gets handed back to Isaac Grant. And honestly, that outcome might be even worse than separation, because it would trap every character inside a violent conflict that is only getting more dangerous. There was also one small detail many fans overlooked. Fanny discovered a gemstone, and that could completely change the direction of the story. If Fanny experiments with time travel without fully understanding it, she may accidentally arrive inside the Blood of My Blood timeline herself. And suddenly, the show would have a completely new traveler, trying to survive in a dangerous world while helping Henry and Julia understand how to get home. That opens the door for even more emotional chaos, because now multiple timelines could start colliding together. And if that happens, Season 2 may become the moment where Blood of My Blood fully transforms into a true Outlander companion story, instead of just a standalone prequel. But while fans are focused on the stones and time travel, another disaster is quietly approaching in the background. The Jacobite Rising is finally beginning, and that war could destroy Brian and Ellen's happiness before it even truly begins. Season 1 ended with Brian finally reuniting with Ellen after everything they suffered through together. For one brief moment, it finally felt like peace was possible. But then Brian made his choice. He would join the Rising no matter what happened. And honestly, that decision completely changed the emotional direction of the story, because now Brian and Ellen are stepping into the exact kind of tragic future that Outlander fans know too well. War changes people. It tears families apart. And Blood of My Blood seems ready to show exactly how brutal that reality will become. The teaser already hinted that Brian may fight alongside Dougal, which is a huge development on its own. Earlier in the story, the conflict between Brian, Ellen, and the Mackenzies created constant tension. But if Dougal is truly standing beside Brian in battle, then forgiveness may finally be happening. And that changes everything for Ellen and Brian. If the Mackenzies accept them again, they may finally stop living like fugitives. For the first time in a long time, they could actually have protection, family, and stability. But the problem is that peace never lasts long in this world. Brian killed Malcolm, and Isaac Grant is almost certainly going to come looking for revenge. That conflict could become one of the darkest storylines in Season 2, because Isaac has every reason to hate Brian now. Revenge is no longer just personal. It is emotional, political, and violent all at once. And if the war grows worse while Isaac hunts Brian, Ellen may be forced into an impossible situation. Then there's the pregnancy theory. Many fans believe Ellen may already be pregnant, and if that turns out to be true, Season 2 instantly becomes even more emotional, because now Brian's decision to go to war would not just risk his own life. It would risk leaving Ellen alone with a child during one of the most dangerous periods imaginable. But there's one mystery nobody can stop talking about. Who is the baby? Could this child actually be Jenny? Or is the show hiding something much bigger? There is a growing theory that William may not remain with Henry and Julia at all. If Julia becomes trapped or captured, she may leave William with Brian and Ellen for protection. And if that happens, Blood of My Blood could completely reshape the family history fans thought they understood. That would mean Ellen's first biological child may actually be Jenny, while William grows up under Brian and Ellen's care. And honestly, that twist would completely change how fans view the Fraser family timeline forever. Now let's talk about the release date, because fans have been desperately waiting for answers. And finally, there's some good news. Filming for Blood of My Blood. Season 2 officially wrapped on December 18th, which means production has already entered the next phase. According to Starz, the series is currently planned for a fall 2026 release. And honestly, that timing makes sense, considering how ambitious Season 2 appears to be. Because this season is not just continuing the story, it looks like it is expanding the entire universe. Everything about the finale hinted that the writers are preparing something much larger than fans originally expected. Time travel is becoming more dangerous, the timeline connections are becoming more emotional, and the Outlander crossover possibilities are growing stronger every single day. But there was one detail in the teaser that may secretly reveal where the story is heading next. Brian and Dougal entering battle together is not just about war. Symbolically, it represents fractured relationships being repaired before tragedy strikes again. Outlander has always used moments of peace right before disaster, and Blood of My Blood seems to be following that exact formula. That means Season 2 may begin with hope, only to slowly tear that hope apart. And honestly, that is what makes this upcoming season feel so dangerous emotionally. Henry and Julia may be separated across time itself. Brian and Ellen could lose everything because of war. Isaac Grant is likely preparing revenge. Fanny may accidentally open another timeline entirely. And somewhere in the middle of all this chaos, the story may finally connect directly to Claire, in a way fans have waited years to see. Because if Henry truly meets Claire, nothing in this universe will ever feel the same again. Blood of My Blood. Season 2 is shaping up to be emotional, tragic, and possibly the most important chapter in the entire Outlander universe so far. The stones are no longer just mysterious portals. They are becoming the bridge connecting generations, timelines, and families that were never supposed to meet. But the real question is, who actually survives what's coming next? Did Henry make it through the stones alone? Will Julia be captured? And could Claire really meet her father at last? Drop your wildest theories in the comments, because this story may be hiding an even bigger twist than anyone expects,